Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Starting 11 show. Manchester City versus Everton at the Etihad. 12:30 kickoff. Going to be a tough game. We all know that. But, you know, let's get it out the way and over and done with. Let's get into the team. In goal, Jordan Pickford. Obviously, this in Virginia, came in for the cup games, did well, but Jordan Pickford again showed last week and against Fulham why he is Everton's number one and why he is England's number one. So, busy day for him. Could do with both of them in goal, if we're honest. But, yeah, it's going to be a busy day for him, I imagine. So, he's going to have to be at his best. Back four. Right back, I am going to go for Ben Godfrey to continue in there. I think the last two games he's done all right. And I think last season when he played in 3, I thought he did very, very well to get under Haaland's skin. And that might be something that we need against Manchester City this time out. Just winding him up a little bit, just putting him out of his stride. And you know, he's not going to be as close contact if he's playing at right back, but his power and his pace, his recovery pace is hugely important. And maybe what he lacks in some departments of his game, he makes up for in being able to get back and put in those last-ditch tackles and blocks. And I think he's been doing all right. And with Seamus Coleman back, it gives him a little bit more breathing time. And maybe you can bring Seamus Coleman on later on in the game if we need to be a little bit more, I don't know, cautious, or maybe move to a 3 at the back. Who knows? But I think he deserves to stay in the team. I think that's the most important thing. I think he deserves to stay in the team. So he starts at right back. On the other side, Mykolenko, obviously he's been doing very well this season and has improved massively. And again, that defensive stability is so important, and he's been a big part of that. And he will just sit in and do his job, and that's so key in these games. The centre-backs, James Tarkowski and Jared Branthwaite. Again, it's going to be an important day for those two. Jared Branthwaite going up against Haaland, who didn't feature in the game over Christmas. So that'll be an interesting battle to see where he is in his development. Saki, obviously, we know what he brings, and he loves these games, but it is hard. A little bit harder for, I think, someone like James Tarkowski, who won't have maybe someone to mark the entire game. He'll try and get on Haaland as well. But I think that's where we do struggle with when players come off the centre-backs and they're not marking someone for the entire game. Taki loves a battle. I don't think City always give you a battle just because of the way they play. So those two are going to be on it, as are the other two. So the whole back four is hugely important for this game, and it's why stability's been huge and why we've been getting so many clean sheets. Into midfield, Idrissa Gana Gueye, I thought he was excellent last week. Returning from the AFCON, I thought he was brilliant. Probably be man of the match. Maybe I think I give Branthwaite it just because he scored the goal. But he'll be hugely important again. Midfield is where Manchester City just get hold of the ball, and Rodri is obviously probably been the best player in the world in the last year. Pound for pound, been unbelievable, and it is difficult. It is difficult stopping him. And we didn't have Idrissa Gana Gueye the last time we played them, and maybe just the introduction of him in that midfield might be able to break up the play a little bit, or just stop them doing what they want to do. It's difficult. It really is difficult. James Garner alongside him doing something similar. So obviously we've got to be very, very destructive in there with those two. If Onana had been available, I'd have gone for the 3 of them. And I know the manager said he's back, but I wouldn't risk him. I wouldn't risk him for this game. I'd have him on the bench. So we have got another centre midfielder available to us. But I don't think I'd risk him for the start. So I'm going to put Jack Harrison ahead of them. You know, that continuity of the last few games. He's going to have to do a lot of hard work in there. I'd want another midfielder in there, a proper centre midfielder, if I was given the choice. But I don't think we have got the choice. So Jack Harrison in there. On the right, Ashley Young, I think, has done well the last couple of games. Again, he'll be responsible for a lot of defensive work, getting back, doubling up, stopping Man City from having the space. So he'll be more of a defensive winger or a defensive midfielder than a player flying forward. And that's will stop us playing, of course. It hinders us going forward. We don't want to be camped on our own half. But I do think he has got the experience to get forward and get into the final third of the game. That'll be reliant more on Pickford's kicking and getting us into those areas rather than playing through those areas. We're not going to play through Manchester City, let's be honest. And if we do, it'll be on the counter-attack. On the left-hand side, Dwight McNeil, who I think it might have been the player I'd sacrificed if we'd had another available midfielder and Jack Harrison had gone over to the right. But I think what McNeil does give you is the set pieces, which has been such an important weapon for us. You know, the in-swinger to the back post has been massive for us this season, and we've seen it again last week with Jack Harrison's goal, which should have been Dom's goal. I think that's so important, and I think that's why the manager's played them every game because he hasn't had very little choice. But I think if it comes down to a choice sometimes of does he leave him out, I think those set pieces are so important. I don't think he's been great of late. I think he's been rushed back from the injury. I think he was rushed back from the injury at the beginning of the season, and I just think it's meant that he's had a bit of a disjointed season so far. But he will start on the left. And up front, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and he'll be so important for us as an outball. As I think he's improved the last couple of games. I think he's got better. I thought against Fulham he'd improved. I thought last week, again, he improved. I thought, I still don't understand why it wasn't his goal. I really don't. But, he needs it more than anyone. But I think as an outball, he's hugely important. Again, Beto hasn't done enough to say to me that he should be starting games, and he's not great in the air, Beto, and we don't really know how to use him in the channels either. So Beto coming on later on the game, maybe exposing City's high line if we can get him in correctly. But I think we're going to go long so much of this game when we've got an opportunity, get those wide players high, get Jack Harrison on the ball when we can. It's going to be very, very difficult. We think we all know that. I think we just have to make sure we don't concede early. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Listen, let me know what you think. Head over to the SofaScore app and compare some of our players and see who you think would be better for this game. The link is in the description. The QR code for the app is up on the screen. It really helps us out as a channel if you do that as well. Great app. And you can follow the game as you're watching it with all the stats on SofaScore as well to see how we're doing during the game. As well as watching it, of course. There you go. So make sure you let me know who you'd have for this. I think there's a couple of options, a couple of different things we could do for this game. Let us know ahead of Sean Dyche letting us all know at 11:30 what the team will be. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. You want more great videos, daily live exclusive videos without any ads, and neither do the podcasts over on Toffee TV Premier. Link is in the description. QR codes come up on the screen now. See you later.